Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
Yes, sir, my Daylarites, my own people. It is not a small something, no. They say Odua traditional court right now. They say we no go gree, yo, we no go gree. We no go gree, yo, we no go gree. Oloris must pay, we no go gree. Hey, it is not a small something, no. They say that you will be doing one day, only one day something will happen. The fact that Kabiesi left the way he left and went for Oba Elegishi's event without the Olori should tell you that something is really, really wrong. Now, not only does the Ooni of Ife not want to, make Naomi feel bad, he does not want to, seem as though he's choking his eyes on the his finger on the eyes of the Odua traditional court people. They are insisting that the Oloris must pay. Okay. The palace walls of Ile-Ife are no strangers to intrigue, but what unfolded in the recent days has sent ripples far beyond the ancient city, shaking the very foundation of tradition itself. The Odua traditional court, an institution revered for centuries as the final abatis of, royal and spiritual matters in Yoruba land, has handed down a verdict that has left the palace in, visible turmoil, a verdict so firm, not even the influence of the Ooni of Ife could sway it, okay? We are all aware of the things that have been happening in the palace, how they removed Olori Naomi's name from the palace register. And they said that is a taboo. That is something that has never happened before. That if, the people who are responsible for it are not made to face the full wrath of the law, that the gods will be angry. We are all aware that Daylight, you all know what has been going on. I don't want to begin to sound like a broken record. But however, let me just give a running commentary of what this is all about. It all began when whisper emerged that a deliberate and coordinated move had been made against Queen Naomi, the beautiful, gorgeous queen, okay? The beloved and respected, wife of the Ooni of Ife. Several, of the Ooni of Ife's wives with a strong hand reportedly played by an influential aunt of Olori, blow orchestrated the removal of Queen Naomi's name from the royal palace, register. In Yoruba tradition, the royal palace register isn't just a book, it's a living document that's, spiritually binds the kings, consort to the palace and to history itself. To tamper with it is no minor offense. It is seen as an, affront to the throne, to tradition, and to the ancestors themselves. But the plot did not stop there. In a desperate bid to cover their track and further entrench their influence within the palace, these women allegedly framed the Akowe Oba, the palace official royal scribe, accusing him of falsifying records and misconduct. The Akowe Oba holds a deeply respected position, serving as the custodian of all royal correspondences, okay, pronouncement and registries. Now, to accuse him is, equivalent to accusing the king's mouthpiece of treason. The implications were serious, and for a time, the palace atmosphere grew heavy with suspicion and fear. It is not a small thing that is going on in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. When you see Baba begins to cry, like, no be me do amo, no be me do amo, it is not me, Baba. They say Akowe Oba is known for honesty, uprightness. The Akowe Oba is so well respected. Akowe Oba did not just serve this dispensation of Oba Adeyeye Ogunsi. He has been in the throne or as a steward of several kings. In fact, the past king who is with a blessed memory right now is Akowe Oba has served with him, but he became very, very ill and he was flown to India where a terminal disease was treated, and now he is fine, okay? And now they try to frame this man up. However, it didn't take long before cracks began to appear in the narrative spun by these women. Senior palace chief, elders, and royal staff who had, quietly observed these manipulations began to speak. Quiet investigations were launched by the palace council, and soon damning evidence surfaced. The Akowe Oba had been, innocent all along. In fact, he had been the victim of extortion, pressure, undertrade, and promise of financial gain to alter the record. So Akowe Oba is not the kind of man that you want to, drag to the mud, because people know that over the years, Dela Akowe Oba has built a very, very beautiful reputation, and that is why it's good to keep your name clean no matter what happens, because on a rainy day, a lot of people will come out and stand for you. Dela, are you people getting me? So this is what is going on. At the center of the scandal was the manipulation of Queen Naomi's, standing. Many were left stunned. Queen Naomi, though, no longer physically present in the palace, had continued to command profound spiritual significance. Her bond with the Ooni of Ife transcend mere titles. It was a divine connection respected by the traditionalists, the chiefs, and the common people alike. That her name could even be touched was a sacrilege that demanded swift and uncompromising, correction. This is what is going on in the palace. Now, the matter was escalated to the Odua traditional court, as we are hearing what is going on. To understand the gravity of this escalation, one must understand the nature and authority of the Odua traditional, court. Now, I talk about Odua traditional court a whole lot. Most times when we talk about Odua traditional court, it comes into the picture when they kill chicken, Odua traditional court. When they fight, Odua traditional court. When people are struggling for land, Odua traditional court. Everything Odua traditional court. I do know that a lot of people don't even understand what the Odua traditional court is, except for the Yoruba people. This ancient judicial body is not like the modern civil court. It, predicts colonial, influence and functions independently of political pressure. Its judges are comprised of highly ranked obas, okay, seasoned babalawos, Ifa priests, okay, senior royal family heads and custodian of Yoruba heritage. Their duty is to protect the sanctity of tradition, ensure justice according to Yoruba custom, and defend the ancestral laws laid down by Odua himself, the progenitor of the amazing Odua people, my people. Okay, so now, as we are hearing what is going on, they said the Odua traditional court is, of course, famously firm. Its verdict are binding and final within the traditional system. No amount of wealth, influence, or royal, pleading can overturn a decision once reached. Even the Ooni of Ife, the spiritual head of the Yoruba people, is bound by their ruling. This is not out of disrespect to the throne, but as a necessity, check to preserve the purity of tradition against human error and, palace politics. You do know that, when it comes to the royal palace, there are a lot of politicking going on there. As we are hearing what is going on, sources close to this matter reveal that, the Odua traditional court concluded its exhaustive inquiry. Its verdict came like thunder. The women found guilty of this grave offense were ordered to vacate the palace within 7 days, with immediate effect. Okay, and when they said the Ooni of Ife intervened, they said now they gave them 7 days to vacate. Sources close to the matter revealed that the Ooni of Ife, distressed by the magnitude of the situation and still showing compassion to his wife, intervened. He reportedly, as we are hearing, okay, if that information is true, they said he pleaded for leniency, suggesting perhaps that the women be given at least given a more dignified exit, but the court remained unmoved. Their reasoning was simple but profound. Allowing such an act to go unpunished would be seen as condoning the desecration of sacred tradition. If Queen Naomi's spiritual right could be trampled upon today, what of the future? What of the legacy of the throne itself? The court's duty is to hold their tradition firm, and they are doing just that. Inside the palace, they said the atmosphere has been described as chaotic and emotional. Some of the women now, stripped of palace privileges and influence, have been seen weeping openly. Others maintain their innocence, claiming they were manipulated, all unaware of the full extent of the conspiracy. However, the court's evidence was clear. Names, meetings, messages and testimonies all linked them directly to the plot. Now, you know that Blablo had said that she's got nothing to do with it, and up until now, she's still insisting that she has nothing to do with it. That whatever this aunt of hers would do to damage her own reputation. That they are not on the same faction in that family, even if they are all coming from the same line, the same family. Okay, but people are arguing that a person who wants to do you evil will not do you such a kind evil to put your name where your name shouldn't be. And so that's the reason why a lot of people are thinking that Bloblo knew something about it. As it is now, they said Bloblo is one of those who is involved, whom the Odua traditional court is focusing on. But whether Kabiesi will be able to do something about it is something that we are yet to know, because Assad, before he left for Oba Elegishi's event, they said he was still trying to get to talk to the Odua traditional court. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact. Thank you.